Well, that's us live, folks. A brand new intro. Did you like it? Did you like it, Owen?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
To me, it's short and sweet. Short and sweet. Folks, listen, welcome to the channel. Different background. I am actually going to rub it in all your faces for the next month. I am in Slovakia on holiday. I took everything in my power not to have too many beers today, so I can come on and have a wee chat with all you. Yeah. What we're going to do today, we are going to be talking about the 3-3 draw. Um, there's been a lot of ups and downs about that, and a lot of negativity and positivity, shall you say, aren't you? Um, Thoughts. Let's get straight into it. Overall thoughts on the 3-3 draw, Aaron. What's your opinion on it?
To be honest, mate, I felt like a defeat. I'm just going to be honest. I
Mm.
woke up on Saturday morning. I was actually telling people, I was working. I was telling people in the shop, I'm so confident today. It's going to be a free sort of 4-0 job. Really confident. Somebody actually said to me that it's too early in the morning to be drunk. You know, so
Listen, I
ironically,
said 5-0. I said
he
5-0
was
for God's
He was a
sake.
Chelsea man. So it was a
They done
bit of a strange one. So it was, but it was what it was, and that was
it
it.
is what
So
it is. It is what it is. No,
I will
I
get.
liked it. I think I'm on the other side of the spear for you. I took a lot of positives from it. I was actually happy enough. I don't know. I think there's a lot of blame in that game for the debutant, Bogle, for the last and also the first goal. Now, obviously, we're going to get into it. You're going to ask me a few questions here, but Melier, the blame or not?
Well, for the first goal, yes, I think he should be saving that there. I know it was Bogle's fault. Bogle was, where was he? The center of the box. When he should have been outright. It was a lovely reverse pass into Sarns, and he hit it. Now he hit it clean, but if
Mhm.
you watch the flight of the ball, Melier, it almost goes through his hands. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as a keeper, if you get your hands there, you're actually asking people are actually asking the question. You should
Mhm.
have saved it.
Yeah.
So you should
But
have. But
listen,
it's
my again, 100% agree with you. Mesley should have saved that. There's no argument. He's a professional goalkeeper. It should have been saved. But should it have got to him to be saved?
well, to be fair, there's a whole load of things that happened before it, and I think if Bogle had been where he was, that goal doesn't hit the back of the net. But unfortunately, the keeper's the last line of defence, and it's if he doesn't save it, nobody can save it. So
Yeah, no, I get that. I do get the fact that thing about keepers is when strikers, midfielders, or defenders make a mistake, they've always someone behind them to clean up the mistake. So
yeah,
a striker made a mistake. It then went to the midfielder who made a mistake. It then went to the defenders who made a mistake. Then it went to the goalkeeper who made a mistake. The keeper has no get out of jail free card. It's in the back of the net. And that's what people stand out. Again, yeah, 100% Melier should have saved it. There's no doubt in my mind that that should have been a save. But there were so many mistakes, simple mistakes that led up to that goal. If you're going to put point blame on Melier, does the whole team not get blamed?
well, I think you do have to look at the whole time. When that
Yeah,
sort of situation happens. You know,
yeah.
But looking at the line of the shot and where his hand was,
Mm-hmm.
he should be keeping that out. So he should.
We
But
just put well. Can we not just put it down to first game blues? Maybe a bit of nerves,
well,
new defender.
yeah,
It is what it
it's
is.
I think as well it's disappointment as well at the fact that I was expecting a clean sheet, you were expecting a clean sheet. We conceded,
Mhm. Yeah.
but
Again, we started the game off on a house on fire. Let's be honest. Hit the post what four
yeah,
times in 5 minutes or something like that. I mean,
three times in the first 7 minutes or something. They're
see when
10
that
minutes.
happened, I actually I laughed into myself. I was watching it now, and I went, "This is going to be about 9-0 if it keeps up like this." Changed, changed. Like it
Just
was unbelievable, unbelievable. Tell me this. Let's talk about the goals. Right, we'll go into the first goal. Penalty. obviously we built up to it. We hit the post so many times and the crossbar so many times and Ampadu and the Guru free kick. Now, sorry, I want to go backtrack a bit. What a free kick! That's something we've missed from Hernandez hitting free kicks all last season. We had no one hitting direct free kicks, not one player. It was always get into the box and us losing it.
Yeah,
Do you think
I,
maybe
I
going forward, Grueve's going to be hitting direct free kicks straight at the keeper here?
I think so. Sure, if you look at the playoff semi-final against Norwich, Somerville took the step to the side, took the defender away, and he put it in. Now there wasn't much effort, on the shot, but you don't shoot, you don't score, So it seems to be he seems to be
Take him.
wanting the direct free kick and wanting
Mm-hmm.
to take it and maybe catch a few keepers out.
Yep.
So, but it was a lovely strike of the ball, like, see about an inch lower, that was hitting the underside of the bar and bouncing on the line, going in, so it
Mm-hmm.
was. But I over the years, I don't think I've seen too many players score free kicks at Allen Road. It's the likes of, I think I was at a game, Millwall, it was Gary Speed's memorial game. Obviously, Robert Snodgrass scored, the free kick, but I don't remember too many, free kicks going in at Allen Road, like.
No,
So I don't.
I
So
definitely don't. As I said, the last time I remember somebody actually shooting at the net was Hernandez hitting the free kicks. Before that, Snodgrass maybe was it Snodgrass?
yeah, I think so. I could be wrong, but that's how far back we'll have to go.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And
absolutely.
another
But
thing as well is like corners. I don't think we score too many from from corners or set
we
pieces, which is
we were last. We were last in the table last year from goals from corners.
yeah. Do it's that could be a key area where we could improve as well. As much as we're lovely passing and breaking teams down, like. I noticed on Saturday that the sort of low block from Portsmouth wasn't really a problem. We were getting them behind, like in play. It was just
Mhm.
it was the back line. Just obviously Bogle's first game. We don't know what way it's going to turn out there. For him. A lot of people, Sheffield United fans, have said, before we got him, he's too attack minded. His defence almost like a Firpo on the opposite side. The way they were describing him, great going forward, but
But
defensively,
we have,
it's
yeah, with Fober, we generally all had a, I don't know if it was a carrot and a stick here, but we were all expecting maybe three centre backs with the two wing backs, and we were all like, oh, this
yeah,
could be
a
juicy.
different formation.
Yeah.
But
And then boom,
it's
4-4-2 or
uh, but
4-3.
but in saying that, on Saturday, I think our 4-2-3-1, what do you call it, lineup, it's very attack minded. You're playing against a team from League One that should have been enough. The likes of the three at the or well, effectively five at the back, three, and then your two wing backs. They should be more for the games against Burnley and maybe the likes of Sheffield United when you don't want to show your hand too early. You're just sort of feeding into the game and then you sort of change it up. Whereas the likes of
Yeah.
the Portsmouth game, I think that formation that he played on Saturday, you're very attack minded. As you say, 10-0 in the first half the way we're playing. you know,
I couldn't
it's
believe it. I couldn't believe it. What
yeah,
was going on? I was like going, nice, nice. But yeah, so the first goal came penalty. Dan James, Bogle played the ball through. Dan James got ahead of it. The left back took him out.
yeah, he
Penalty.
was on the wrong side. The
Mhm.
defender got on the wrong side of him. He wasn't sort of goal side. He got on the wrong side, and James would have went past him. If it wasn't for the clip,
Mhm.
James is that quick. Into the box. Alert. And we probably would have scored anyway if it wasn't for him taken down because there was nobody else really off behind him or in
Yeah.
front of him to stop
Uh,
him.
Tell me
So it
this:
wasn't.
were you shocked that Pascal took the penalty?
Uh, I would have been last season, but obviously know him up and oh, with the pressing game. He took the penalty in the pressing game. He normally puts him in the bottom corner, which is sort
It
of
was
well, sort of. If you're a keeper watching that there, you're going to look at that now and go, right, well, it's either left side or right side, bottom corner. He's
absolutely,
going to put it. But he
absolutely.
just walks up, side foot, Mr. Calm, especially after the penalty debacle there last year and the year before. I don't want to badmouth Bamford, but Bamford kept missing, and you can't keep missing penalties.
You,
You
you
know,
can't. He's.
to
I actually.
me,
I'm still a big fan of Bamford, but Christ, that guy cannot hit a penalty. Can't do it.
yeah, to me, to me, the penalty's in the favour of the attacker, no matter what. It's in the favour of the attacker.
Yep.
You should be scoring a penalty. So you
Yep.
should.
100%.
You've
And
a
he
free
scored.
shot.
And then after the goal went in, Leeds decided to, in my opinion, pull a Gareth Southgate and just stop playing football until
Yeah,
that
well,
goal.
I was hearing Farke's comments on it, and Farke actually said that he didn't really, that wasn't his, decision. The team just dropped off, which to me, you need to keep going, but then it is hard to keep that intensity up for a full 90. Like, you're constantly, counting their half. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Watching, any
Yeah.
balls that come out, you're mopping them up. You're going again. Do you know what I mean? It is tough. But I was looking at the shots on Saturday. I was thinking like
Mhm.
22 shots, 10 on target. That's half the shots we were having that were actually on target. They're going, and another thing as well, the crossbar doesn't count as a shot on target.
Or the
So
post.
if you add them our free shots, that would have been 13 if you had to add the crossbar on. 13 from 22 shots. I don't understand how it's not on target because you're hitting, it's a frame of the goal.
That's
You
not
know
off
what I
target.
mean? But yeah, it's not on target. It's classed as not on target.
Yeah.
But that would have nudged us up to 13 from 22. Shots if you take them in their account as well. And the XG, flip me. Like I know people say there's people for it, people against it. They say, oh, the XG's it doesn't really dictate football, but 3.39, XG, that's compared to their 0.94.
Right. But we'll not talk about their first goal. We did discuss that because we wanted to go into the mistakes and stuff. But their second
Yeah,
goal, no one's to blame for that.
nah,
That's a wonder goal.
definitely.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's a wonder goal.
you as fans, you can sit here and you can pick and point passes and pick and point players and pick and point this. That's nitty. To me, that was just a very good, well hit goal. Boom, you
Well,
weren't saving it.
I'm looking at the build up, and I'm seeing Rodon heading it, straight out the center of the box.
But
Now,
again, that's fine. That's what I want. So every single
yeah,
time, I think it was just where the ball landed, where the player got it, wallop. I'm not taking one damn thing away from that goal. It was a great goal. Any other
it was
day,
great.
is the player going to be there? Any other day, he could hit that shot 100 times. How many times would he score that?
Yeah, it was a great strike, great goal. But
Yeah,
if you're sort of picking it out and you're looking at the analysis at the end of the game and you have all your players sitting there, what could we do different? That could be one of the
but that's
things.
hindsight. That's
Yeah,
hindsight.
no, I but but when you see every single game gets analysed after. The
Yeah.
manager will take the players in. They'll do video work,
Mhm.
and I'm not saying Rodon, was at fault. It was a great strike for a goal, but if you are going to be heavily critical for the future, you'll probably say, right, well, if that ball comes in again, don't sort of head it straight
I had
into
it
the.
behind
But
you, like
then,
kind of had it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
I
sat
get
up,
that,
but
but
then it's sat up. If you watch the goal, the player just it was it Liang or Liang you call him.
mhm.
He sort of it sort of hit off his foot, and then it came up a lovely height, and he just struck it. Mellier's not getting it anywhere near it. It's 100% great strike.
Yeah. So
And we're
I'm
we're
not
going into the
taking.
break.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from that goal. I just went. Honest to God, I watched the game and I went. Just my reaction. Swear to God, I just went. All right, that was it. I just went.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Because if that was us who scored that goal, I'd be jumping on roofs. I'd be Spider Man climbing on light shades, and going, "Wow!" Screaming
yeah,
out. So fair play to them. Um, Came out in the second half. Now, before I talk about the second goal, I want to ask you a question, and I want your God's honest truth here, right? Because I even went on to Just Joe's channel, not onto it, but I left a comment when Nando's been garbage the first half because he was trying to do Somerville, turn into the right and shoot, but he wasn't doing it as good as Somerville did. He came out in the second half here and did it and scored, and I just went, I'm gonna have to eat my words here. This is always commentators' curse right now. Got the goal. I thought scored in the first minute. There's no way stopping us now to go and win this game. That was my thoughts. So, talk to me about your thoughts through the not those goal lead second goal.
Well, he picked it up from the left hand side on the touchline,
Hmm.
and just sort of kept it in from a throw. Sort
Hmm.
of dribbled with the ball. Defenders sort of backed off, backed off, backed off. To me, if you're a defender, you need to stop him before he gets in the box. Whether you bring him down, professional foul. You take one for the team. Once he gets into the box, he's untouchable. And
Yeah,
the minute he got into the box, and he proved like Man United, he hit it with a smooth shot with the right foot. Bottom corner. I still think the keeper. I don't know. It's that Portsmouth keeper on Saturday. If you look at Aronson and you
Butterfinger.
look at if you look at Aronson's goal, obviously we'll talk about that later. And you look at the Nanto shot that beat him. It's kind of like it's not really that much power in it, but I think he's just maybe unsighted a bit, or his footwork is sort of over, and then he realizes, I need to get back over here, but I haven't got the lane, to keep it out, with the hand.
Absolutely.
But it was a great strike, and you know, happy for Nanto getting off the mark. Probably not good for us because teams now are probably thinking, here we go again.
I
Let's
don't
put
think
an
he'll
R bit
go.
in.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go. Yeah, so the game for me after the second goal, the game quietened down again, like a lot. It quietened down to a
Yeah.
just back and forth midfield kind of game. And then the changes were made. I Let's talk about the penalty. For you, was it a penalty?
100%. Definite
You say
penalty.
yes.
Yes. No
Right.
complaints. I'll tell
I
you, I know it's what he called. I know it was he sort of, you can sort of see the tug of the shirt, from, the side angle,
mhm,
on Bogle. But to me, Bogle shouldn't have let that happen. The ball's up in the
agree.
air. He's beating for a header, and then he gets on the wrong side. And you're thinking he's on the wrong side, which makes me, think it was a penalty. He's on the wrong side, and
Yeah,
Bogle, all he can do is, pull him, hold him back. As I said, with an Anto run, running into the box, you need to stop him before he gets in the box. Once he gets in the box, it's you're sort of in the hand of God,
yeah.
or the
He
hands
should
hands of the
never give the
gods.
referee. Yeah, what you're saying is he should never
Yeah.
give the referee the opportunity to
Well,
blow the whistle.
the
I agree
as I
with you.
said, the the
It could have
reason
been
the reason
50-50, and with VAR, we never know what they would have done. But I agree with you. I think it was a penalty.
I don't think there's enough. If you even if you VAR'd it, I don't think there was enough to overturn it. I don't even think the tug of the shirt counts, because if you look, he's more or less choked him. So he has, there's nothing. You
So
can't. See if we didn't get that penalty for us, I would be absolutely raging. So I would,
yeah,
absolutely
and
raging.
do you know what's
So
funny?
when the shoes in
On
the
the
other
other
foot,
foot,
you sort of have to, you just sort of have to accept it.
yeah. Do you know what's funny? We'll I'll bring it up at the end. We move on to Mr. Aronson. You know my thoughts from the last stream and us privately chatting that I'm curious to see what Aronson brings in the championship against these clubs. I even want them to start just to kind of see 90 minutes of what the boy's going to do, right? I know I'm a James man. You're a Nanto man. We've got our both wings. I think after Somerville's gone, you and me kind of went, well, we can now both be right. You've got Nanto, I've got Dan James. I wanted Aronson to come on. I thought Aronson came on and Rudder went out the right where James was playing when he came off. And I thought Nanto was better out the right. And I thought Aronson was fantastic in the 10. What I loved about Aronson is he reminds me of James, where he just will not stop running no matter what. I seen a lot of times he lost the ball and he just ran right back to left back to get the ball back. He just kept going, and then he ran the whole way back up. Talk about the goal. Bogle played the ball through and he scored. So does this counter itself out in the sense that Bogle gave away 2 goals, but also Bogle giveth 2 goals?
Well, you can sort of look at it that way, but then you can look at it as, we shouldn't really be conceding, you
Yep.
know, against Portsmouth, especially where they're, I don't even think they did. If you look, they've scored 3 goals, and you're thinking, how the hell have they scored 3 goals? You know what I mean? It's absolutely insane. So it is. But Bogle, as I said earlier, is attacking better than obviously is defending, and when he gets forward, that's what you get. But that's you can't keep trying to outscore teams, by doing that. There, he has to
Mm.
learn the defensive side as well. The positioning, get in the position. He needs to know when to go forward, when to move across. I seen at the weekend as well. He switched with Firpo, and everybody's, even the managers, going, "What the hell? What's that about?" For professional
Fucking
footballers to be doing that there,
purple.
and the manager's baffled as well. It makes me
Yeah.
wonder what's what's going on. That's Sunday league.
Look,
Sundays,
that's
when
a Leeds
teams
United
do that.
curse fullback problem. We've had fullback problems for what, 10, 15. When's the last time we
Oh,
had a half decent fullback?
well, Luke Ayling.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But
I
you
just
get what I'm
want to,
saying. Firpo,
yeah,
injuries. We've had all these players that just love getting injured, and we've got all these players that kind of go for wee walkies and stuff like that. It's
yeah.
mad. But listen, can I ask you a question? Right, 3-3, 97th minute. Arnson goes in 1-on-1 to win the game 4-3. Do you want my honest opinion in this? The game should never have got to that for him to miss that. He
No,
saved us the game. It's his first game back. I thought he played well. He was getting in the right spots. He was running back and forth. I was very impressed with Arnson. I don't think the fans are being. This is from a guy who hated the players who left last year, but as a fan, the guy we're trying to. He's there to stay. I think they're being harsh on a guy who saved the point.
no, definitely. As you said, your key point there was getting into the right positions.
Yeah,
If you look at it, you come off the bench and you're in the right position, you get a goal, and then you near get another goal. That's two. What more can you do?
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
But
he's came off the bench. He hasn't been on the pitch for
yeah,
90 minutes. If he's been on the pitch for 90 minutes, you'd probably say, right, well, he should be, because it's
hmm
the League One team that's obviously came up. They haven't
hmm
really bought too many championshipy sort of players, and I think I was
hmm
reading as well. They had a few injuries as well. Before the game, so that's not their full. That'll not be their full 11. Throughout the season. As well. And for him to come off the bench, get a goal, near get an R1, like, that's, you can't really ask for much more. It's like redemption. So it is. And all
So
you
the
can do is
game,
just cheer him. You can't. You know what I
that's
mean? He's
it.
done what he's done, and
He he saved us a point, and people are booing him for not winning us the game. It wasn't him that lost us the game. It was him that saved us the point. That's the two ways of looking at
yeah,
that. I personally
yeah,
think. I personally. I'll pause up. Yeah, yeah. I personally think. Sorry, somebody came in to see if I was doing all right. I personally think that he saved us a point and not didn't lose us the game. I think Bogle was more at fault for losing that game than Aronson was.
yeah,
100%. I
100%.
think the fans are too harsh on Aronson. He's getting booed and all. I'm sorry, but screw that. Don't be booing a guy for saving us a point.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
did you see his celebration?
Yeah. I seen it on the highlights. Like, he was,
This to the
he
fans.
ran. Yeah, and I got the
This
ball back as well, straight to the halfway line. It's
you, you know what I mean? We move on, right? You're of the opinion of that's a shit result. It could have done better. I'm on the position that, as you know what, we scored 3 goals. Our attacking was fantastic. Our players looked great. The XG was fantastic. 2 Bogle mistakes, stroke Melier mistake, and a wonder goal. That's my opinion of the game, personally.
Well, I just see it as it's a disappointing 2 points dropped. If you look at Burnley getting off to a good start Monday night, you look at the likes of Sheffield United winning, you know, they're now level on points with us. Do you know what I mean? And they've a -2.
I know
It's
it's one,
I know
but I
it's early
think
days,
people,
and
yeah, I think people are
the
not
one thing that
understanding.
worried me as well. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The one thing that worried me as well about not getting off to a good start on Saturday was the games coming up. You have the likes of West Brom away, which is not going to be an easy game. And then you've got another tricky game, after as well. So, plus when Middlesbrough, sandwiched in between. I think we've got Hull as well coming up.
Mhm.
These aren't easy games. Sheffield Wednesday as well. Sheffield Wednesday and West Brom, and then you've Hull and Middlesbrough sandwich in that. So I think I think Saturday was an important, to get off to a good start. So if we do get a couple of draws in these next two, away to Sheffield Wednesday, away to West Brom, at least you can say, well, with 5 points on the board. The fact that if we, drawing on Saturday and then getting maybe a point, against West Brom, a point against Sheffield Wednesday, that's 3 points from nine. That's not. Do you know what I mean? That's
I know,
last year all over
I
again.
know. The only thing I'm thinking of is I'm trying to think of the positives. It's the first goal.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's the first game. I'm not really going to dig too much into it. I'm trying to focus on the positives rather than the negatives. As I say, the negatives were a couple of stupid mistakes. I don't think that they drew the game. I think that we lost 2 points with our stupidity. So we get rid of the stupidity, we built on it. We were by far the best. That's the best attacking I've seen us play when we attacked in a while. So I'm going to focus on that, to be completely honest with you,
yeah. Well,
That's my opinion.
uh,
That's my opinion. That's my opinion. But overall, 2 points dropped, but I'm not really overly upset about it. It is what it is. We move on. We move on. That's my opinion.
well, we just have to wait and see what happens
I
in
have
the
to wait and
next the
see.
next few weeks. But as you say, at least we didn't lose. We didn't get off the loss in the
Yeah.
first game.
So what we'll do now, we'll pop into tonight's game. The return of Luke Ealing to Ellender Road, but this time he is Terminator 2. He is the enemy. He is no longer on our side.
Terminator 2.
Judgment Day. He
I
was
like
once
that
a
one.
goodie, now he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
Are you looking forward to the
I
game?
just want to. I just want to chat about like anything. Like I was actually looking at his rating through a few of the apps, and last season and this season he's hitting 7.4. For an average rating. Did we get rid of him too soon?
Yes,
That's my question for you. Because
I know.
if you look at it, somebody's hitting 7.4. He's not a 5.5 or a five. He's still doing it. Getting forward. And
Mhm.
if you look at the problems we have had, obviously on Saturday, Bogle probably will come good, eventually. But if you look, for a championship style player, to get us out of this division, I just think, losing him, let him go too soon. I think we maybe could have got an hour season out of him.
I
That's just my
personally,
opinion. Like,
yeah, what my personal opinion is in this is when we brought in Jaden Spence, that's why we let him go because I do believe
yeah,
Farka was thinking bigger, better, younger. I think he
yeah,
knew Spence was coming in where he went, we don't need Luke Ayling here. Luke Ayling ain't going to get game time. We've got Spence. Spence is a legend. Spence was Championship Player of the Year with Nottingham Forest. He plays for Spurs. Um, that went to shit, in my personal opinion. That's where I think we went wrong with Luke Ayling. We just didn't expect Spence to be that bad.
yeah, absolutely. I just think I just think we let him go too soon.
Yeah,
So I did.
I love Ayling.
But
I thought Ayling, as we did chat before we started hitting the record there about Luke Ayling going, we have curses with left backs and right backs, and Luke Ayling was the actually one guy that stood out that he was constantly there, constantly ready to go, which is fine.
yeah,
Um, what do you think tonight? Obviously, I personally think a lot of changes. Um, and I was thinking about the changes here, and do you know what I like about our changes compared to this year and last year? We have a very strong bench. So I think Bober's going to come in tonight and play a game, right?
yeah.
I telling you now, Melier will start nets. Fact, I don't care what you
Do you
say to
think
me.
so?
Yeah, I do.
I think
Look at every
I
every
think it's
cup
got.
game last year. He didn't play. He played the keeper once because um, Melier was suspended. But he even in the cup games, Melier played every game.
I don't know. I think it's going to be Darlow. Something tells
We'll
me
see. We'll see. This is the whole point
it's
of this. It's not like I can turn around to you and go, "You're absolutely wrong. Everything you say is wrong." We don't know. Darlow could come into the starting lineup. I personally think Melier is going to start. I do believe Vober is going to come in and start, and I do believe
yeah,
Rodon will partner him. And I do believe Sam Barron will come in left back. I
Yeah,
think Bogle
they're the
will
obvious
start to
ones. I
redeem
do.
himself.
I think
Yeah,
that.
and I
I think that'll
think,
happen myself.
yeah, and I do think, and I do believe Arnson will start. Piero will
Yeah,
start. I think Bamford will start. Um, and I do believe Crew
it'll
will
be all
not
the.
start,
It'll
but I do believe Crew will get a lot more minutes, and Rothwell will start too.
Yeah, I
But
think
they'll
it'll
start.
be the bench brigade from Saturday. I'll all play because
Mhm.
you look at Bamford, you look at Pearl. If they don't play tonight, they're going to be going. Flip me, we're sat out on Saturday. We're sitting out tonight. When are we
Mm.
actually? You know what I mean? And
But it could
it's
be that Bamford maybe. What might happen here is Arnson will go in the number 10, Piero will go up front. Bamford might not be fully fit. It could go that way. I do think um, Rudder will go out to the 10 spot. I mean, the wing.
do you
I
think Rudder
definitely
will
do.
play?
Yeah, I think he'll Rudder will play out the wing.
Interesting.
We'll see. We'll see. I think
I don't
Dan
know.
James will be
As
dropped.
I said, I could be wrong, but I don't think he'll risk Rudder.
Well, tell me,
But
what do you think? Who do you think is going to be starting 11?
well, I think it's going to be obviously It'll be Darlow in goal. I think Barham will play. I think it'll probably be. I'm going to say Strike, and I'm going to say Wober,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to say right back. It'll probably be maybe Bogle. Just to get his confidence maybe back up.
Hmm.
And then I think it'll probably be Rothwell, maybe Grave. Ampadu will probably drop the bench, and then I'll probably say James Bamford, uh, Aronson. James Bamford, Aronson, and maybe Peru. All
I'm
well,
going to say something to you right now. Actually, you know what? I'll keep it for the next segment if I remember. But I've got a wee inside knowledge for you that you might interest. But yeah, I think it's going to be. Do you think he might go to the three at the back with the two wing backs?
I don't know. We could do. That would be a good
Use the
experiment for
cup
him.
as a wee experiment.
Yeah, yeah. I know he tried it in pre-season, but this is a first competitive game where he can try it. And if it
Yeah,
does go wrong, he
yeah.
sort of
So
he has the what do you call it? Going out in the first round or second round of the Carabao Cup's nothing.
yeah.
Especially when we're going for promotion. I
Mhm,
think fans will probably say, well, if we are out, then at least we can concentrate in the league.
mhm.
But obviously, you
Well,
want
tell
to
me
win
this.
every game.
As it says here in the banner, right below us here, right? How far do you think we'll go in the competition? Do you think then if he's looking to go far, will he put out a strong side? Will he just go for his starting 11 and just go for it, guns blazing, since it's a championship side?
I would love him to put out a full strength side, but I just think maybe for after Saturday, it might actually, we might turn around and go right and play him the strongest team tonight. He could do that there. He could turn around
Yeah.
and say, right, well, go out and prove the fans, you get booed off at half time, you know, go and put it right. He might go down that road, or he might go down the road of, you know, we need to give seven, boys that sat on the bench, a start tonight, to keep them sort of, involved and keep their confidence up.
Hmm.
You just wouldn't know. And as you say, the keeper position, I'm starting to go to myself now, well, will he keep Melier or
But
Darlow? I still think it'll be Darlow, but,
yeah, but the way I look at
he's
it
keeping us
last
guessing.
year, yeah. So, with Farka, the way it went last year is the keeper, when available, played every game. Rodon played every single game, and Ampadu played every single game. Those are the three
Yeah,
players that played every single game to every single competition, rather the smaller the club they were playing or the bigger the club they were playing. They were the
yeah,
guys that were always picked and never dropped. So that's why I'm thinking in my head, Rodon will play, Melia will play, Ampadu will play. The rest, yes, mix and match. Um, you had a wee chat with me about formation before we actually decided to start recording here. You had a wee chat with me about Ampadu, right? So
yeah.
just for the viewers looking in, let's have a wee chat about that, right? You think Ampadu will go back into centre back?
I think if Saturday keeps happening, where you have, I know it was Bogle's sort of fault, but I think if Saturday keeps happening, I think he will put him back. He'll probably go back to what he knows. You know, sort of the middle of the season. If we do keep conceding goals, we look
Mhm.
at it and go, right. Well, last year Humperdoo and Rodon worked well. Maybe it's not centre back when he maybe it's or maybe it's centre mid. I think losing Kamara sort of freed up, for Ampadu to go in there, but obviously we've got Rothwell in, but we always needed an our midfielder anyway. But
Mhm.
I just think, if we are constantly conceding goals, I think he sort of should go back to what he knows. Ampadu and Rodon at the back, because I thought Ampadu was brilliant, in them that 10-12 game block. I know it
Yeah,
fell
the
apart
whole
towards the
team was
end,
brilliant.
but
But
but the reason we were keeping the clean sheets was down to them two, Rodon and Ampadu for me, as a partnership. They work well, and then obviously they're Welsh, and they're
yeah, let me have one counterpoint on that, right? Rodon and me. Where's the camera? Number one. I'm doing number one over there. Rodon for me probably had one of his worst games in the league shirt for me, right?
yeah,
And two, Pascal Struijk hasn't played in nearly a year.
yeah.
Would it not just be down to cobwebs? Everybody saying Ampadu was crap midfield. I thought Ampadu was good. I honestly didn't think he did too much wrong. Maybe I'm
I just
watching it
think,
different.
from what I've seen, Ampadu sort of slowed it down. On Saturday, he sort of, it was
Okay, but
almost
is that not
Kamara,
his game?
Kamara 2.0.
But is
You
that
know,
not supposed to be his game, right? Groove, you fasten it up. Ampadu, you calm it down. Two centre midfielders
well,
who,
I think people are annoyed because it was Portsmouth. It wasn't Sheffield United or Burnley. When you need to calm it down and be sort of smart. I think it was the
hmm,
fact that everybody was expecting, this intensity just to keep up. But obviously, it couldn't. But
be
a lot of
interesting to
people were
see.
saying
Yeah,
it's
it'd be
Kamara
interesting.
2.0.
But it could be interesting to see coming into tonight's game if they do pair Rodon and Ampadu. Maybe there's something into it in the game against Middlesbrough tonight. Because the last game
Yeah,
they played, Middlesbrough were one of the last teams to actually score a couple of goals, two goals past us at Ellen Road
yeah.
before, and it was against them too. Remember that game 3-2 it ended up, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
3-2?
three. It was a crazy game. It was 3 goals inside like 10 minutes. I
Yeah.
think. I
So
think. I think we scored, then they scored, then we scored, and it was like 3 goals inside the first 10 minutes. And I think that Saturday, I think it was. I was listening on the radio that Saturday, and it was literally like everywhere else it was 0-0. And then at Allen Road, Leeds v Middlesbrough, it was 2-1.
here,
You know?
tell me this actually. Luke Ealing, I love Luke Ealing. I'm never going to say anything bad about him. He's 32 years of age, and he could potentially be against the likes of Rudder, Dan James, Nanto. Um, do you think Aileen has a chance defending against any of those three?
I think if he's smart, I think if he sort of watches his positioning, doesn't go too far forward, he's good at winning tackles, which, that's a strong point. Obviously headers as well. I think the likes of James and, will not be beating him in the air. I think if he holds his position well, I think, and is smart, I
Mhm.
think he can do it, but pace, no, definitely not.
But this could be one of these ones that these players know each other more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So it'd be
It could
interesting. I'm
be,
looking forward to it. What do you
yeah.
think the score's going to be
Uh,
tonight? We all love predicting scores. Like my 5-0 went down a treat there last week.
I think I'm going to say 2-1, the Leeds.
Ooh.
So
I'm going to
I think
go
I think Middlesbrough will score, but I think with us being the home team, the onus is on us to get the win. So it
3-1
is.
Leeds.
But I was just going to ask you as well, Mr. Lade Laugh, of Middlesbrough. There's been no talk of him. Well, I haven't heard any talk in the window. Are you surprised? Our teams looking at him and saying, nah, he's not, or what? Because if it was me, I'd be looking at maybe taking a chance on him. Like he got 18 goals in 36 appearances last season, which is 1 goal every two, which is a pretty decent record for a striker.
Can I ask you a question on that, a counterpoint? What was his goal tally the season before?
I don't think it was too great, but I mean, if you look at last season, and then he's off the mark sort of this year.
Mm-hmm.
He scored on Saturday, as
Penalty,
well. I think
wasn't
he
it?
got two. He got two. Yeah, he got Swansea. He got two against us. Well, I think he got 4 or 5 last year against us. Do you know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
had the two fixtures up, so he knows where the net is. Like, but I'm just surprised there's been no real
it could be.
transfer talk about him, considering Middlesbrough haven't got parachute payments. They're you know what I mean. It's usually when you haven't got the parachute payments and you're sort of scrapping about the championship, you can't guarantee promotion. You lose your best players. And he
Yeah,
doesn't seem to be
it could
talked about.
be that the Premier League clubs could be. They're only getting their team together now. They're getting ready for the weekend. They technically still don't know their starting 11. So what they'll do is they'll filter out what their in their head is, and then I do believe these Premier League clubs will come down. The likes of, we'll use Smotics for an example. Um, Smotics has been signed for Ipswich now for 2 fucking weeks. Let's be honest. Apparently, it's been done for 2 solid weeks, and it's still not done. Um, like the Crystal Palace player as well. He's been sitting there waiting. I just don't think the Premiership sides are ready to make a move as of yet. They're still trying to suss out their teams. They had more time to play their players in. There was even friendlies last weekend, wasn't there? So when we were
Yeah,
in the
there was.
competitive
Yeah,
mode, there were still friendly games being played. So again, that's rotation. Play the youth, find out tactics, friendlies. But I personally think 1 or 2 games into the Premier League, just before the window shuts, I do think there are going to be a lot of moves. Now, will they go for these players? Who knows? We don't know.
yeah.
We don't
Uh,
know.
on
But yeah, you're right in what you're saying. I love him at Leeds. I think he'd be fantastic up front with the pace we have. I think he'd be a
Yeah,
cracking player. Absolutely.
I just find it strange. I haven't really heard much chat about him now. Obviously,
Yeah.
Middlesbrough fans could probably tell me differently, but I just, I've seen transfer chat all summer, and I haven't really seen anything, talking about him.
I just
But
worked me out.
I, I was gonna ask you as well. Right. So before we move on, the Carabao, how far do you think we'll go in the Carabao Cup?
It really all depends on how Farka takes it. Like Farka come out and play a load of kids tonight, and then you could take the judgment and goes, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
Or tonight he could put out a very strong squad, and then he'll come out and go, let's do this. Me personally think last 16 maybe
yeah. Well,
again.
I was thinking sort of 16 quarterfinals. With the squad we have,
Again,
that's
again, it all depends on who the draw is.
yeah,
I mean, next game we could get drawn Man City. No, the game after
yeah.
that we can get drawn Man City, and then all of a sudden go,
I
well, that's
think
the end of that run.
was it last year we got a quite a lucky run. We got it was Stockport, was it, or Shrewsbury,
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 that's
and then
Stockport.
Accrington.
Yeah,
I think it was Shrewsbury and Accrington last year, and then all of a sudden we're like in the mix. You were like,
yeah.
flip me.
But the first game
It's
this season is against Middlesbrough.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So we could go on a run, get Shrewsbury, QPR, Wrexham, and stuff, and then go, do you know what? We can make the last 4 here. It all depends on the run. Or we could have a draw of Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, and you're like,
yeah.
I think
Oh no,
I think Farke, if it'll depend on tonight's game. If he goes out a strong squad, I'll turn around and I'll say he's going for this. He's going to make the most of it, get
yeah.
as far as possible. If he goes out tonight
Aye,
with a weak squad, I'll go. He's just getting game time in here for players.
yeah, absolutely. Uh,
That's my opinion.
yeah, 100%, agree with you. So what's your
Did
thoughts
we,
on
did,
the?
did we just agree on something?
So I'm gonna ask you what's your thoughts on the transfer window? What's holding everything up?
uh, Again, to my last comment, it's. I think the Premier League squad teams are controlling what's happening. Farkas said in his press conference that he has the money, but he doesn't want to spend it yet.
Yeah, I seen that there.
I
I was sort of going to myself, is that a tactic to sort of, deploy from us spending, and then they'll come out and
yeah,
say, well, the players weren't the right ones. And then all of a sudden you're like, right, so we've got all this money and we haven't spent it. Where's it all gone?
Well, tell me this.
Do you know what I mean?
Tell me this. From the club, all these links that we're linked with, is there any solid, concrete information, or are these just all streamers, YouTubers, whatever you want to call them, just making stories up just to post something?
It's a weird one because I'm looking at that Johnny Rowe, and that Johnny Rowe's went on for, 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
He's now refused to play, and I was reading there about a week ago, we put a £7 million bid in, the starting bid, and then I'm hearing today that there hasn't been a bid.
I've
And
also
then
heard
I'm
a
going to
£15
myself,
million bid as well at some point.
yeah, and then I'm going to myself, is the sell-on fee, are they asking for too high of a sell-on fee? Is
Mm-hmm.
that the reason why, it's stalled, but then you're hearing there's no bid in. But I mean, that sell-on fee could be massive because they know if we get him for, 10 million, they know he could be worth 40 million, if we go
Of a
into the
season.
Premiership. And they're maybe
Yeah.
thinking, well, we can take 10 million off them, by inserting this clause. So I'm wondering if they're haggling over a sell-on fee because they know his value down the line is going to be, if we
Yeah.
say if we get the Premier League, he's a £40 million player.
Yeah.
I don't care what,
Yeah.
English, he's only what, 23, 20, 21, whatever age he is. So
Can
he's
I
going,
ask you a question?
so
See, regarding the 49ers, bar Kamara, because we all knew from day one that Kamara was coming for some reason, even though it wasn't official, there was just stories behind it. But has anybody actually pinpointed a player coming to Leeds until it happens? Like, has anybody got any links to any Leeds player coming before? Like, Ampadu, nobody knew Ampadu was coming. That was out of the blue.
yeah,
Rothwell, that was out of the blue. Who else did we sign? The third choice
Aaron,
keeper, Kane's coming back. Never would have thought that was happening. Sam Barron, we only found out Sam Barron was there because he was at training and he went, So nobody even knew he was at fucking training. We have Piero. Everybody wanted him, but that wasn't on the books because he was a top goal scorer. Um, was there any, like with the 49ers, can you expect it? Groove was another one. Who the hell was he and where the hell did he come from?
I think, do you know what I think it stems from? I think when we lost out for Max Arns, I think they maybe went, right, we
Hush,
need to
hush.
keep this top secret because we've missed out on him. He was there in the
Mm-hmm.
medical, then all of a sudden it was bang, he's going to Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, flip me, like that's like if somebody gets as far as the medical and then, you know, basically goes here, I need to go here. You're like, what the flip? You've almost agreed, you've showed up for the medical and you're going down the road. Like that's, do you know what I mean? If it gets that far, so I think they don't want that situation happening again. And I think the easy way to cut out that situation is keep everything top secret until, the ink's
Yeah,
on the paper.
absolutely. And I do believe that the 49ers have something that the old owners didn't have, and that's patience. Where the old
Yeah, I
owners,
just think
bye, 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 bye,
do you know
bye.
what? I like the ownership model, but one of the things it's the secrecy. They need see the likes of Angus Kinnear coming out and doing the square ball. That needs to happen, once or twice a year. At least to let us know what's going on. This whole
Will, will,
secrecy. I know some people like it,
will
some
we
people
get
don't,
Kinnear
but
on here?
Mhm. Thank God. We need to be a bit bigger, mate, first. So we do. But yes, so I was gonna chat to you about, the likes of the summer, recruitment and, players sort of coming in, like Sammy
Mhm.
Smodics is sort of the likes of Sammy Smodics, like that's a weird one what's happening because usually
Strange.
when a player's on his way out, he doesn't
Is
start
he
in league
though?
games, which he
Because,
didn't do on Saturday, but he came
yeah,
off the bench. And then, he definitely 100% doesn't start in cup games, meaningless cup games, away to Stockport, and he ends up starting and you're like, what's going on? Is that rumour gone cold? Or what's the story with Ipswich, or Leeds in for him, because I was told a couple of weeks ago Ipswich is a done deal, it's
now
done.
that brings me up to my wee point. Take this with a pinch of salt if you wish, or take it with a ooh. There's a little bit of a rumor going round that there could be a swap deal for Piro and Smonix?
I haven't heard that yet,
Oh, I
so I
have.
haven't. But
Oh, I have. What would your thoughts be on that?
flip, your what age? Smodix is sort of
29,
29. Pero's, you know,
24.
24. So you're looking at it going, Pero's done it twice in the championship. It is a bit of a risky one, like. But then if you look at how Sammy Smodix has started the season, he
Played
got
90
one,
minutes. Literally
he got
played
one
90
on,
minutes and got 3 goals and an
yeah,
assist.
yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think is it 3 goals and an assist? You look at it that way, how he started the season, and you think, flip, he's going to do this again, this year. Obviously, I don't see him getting past 31st of August and still being a Blackburn player. But I mean, if he does, he's probably going to do that what he done last year again. But it's real weird. I was actually watching him, on, was it Friday night they played, you know, first game of the season, and
Blackburn.
see that when the
Or,
cross
or
when the when
Derby.
the cross came in, he sort of hung back. He knew in positioning wise, he knows exactly where to stand. Bang in the middle of the goal, just hit it long, hard and low, along the floor. They went to the net, and you're thinking, flip me, like he makes it look so easy. So he
Yeah, he
does.
did.
He's just. And then you look at what he done against Leeds, the back end of the last season, and you're thinking, you know, do you know what I mean? It's against our defence last year. You're thinking, flip, this boy's got something here, But I
Yeah.
think was he at Colchester early on, or I
He,
think
he was
that's
at
where he.
he was actually at Portsmouth, wasn't he? And
Uh,
Peterborough.
I think Colchester as well. I think he started
Yeah.
off maybe at
Late
Colchester, but
bloomer
he's
as
another
well.
player he's another player that seems to got through the leagues. He just seems to the level higher doesn't phase him. He just
Mm.
keeps going. And I mean, flip me, what deadly striker, at the minute. But I
Brilliant
I don't
player.
know about that. Going back to your point, I don't actually know, to be honest. I still think Pearl's done it twice. Do you know what I mean? You do it once, you're lucky. You do it twice, it's kind of like, right, well, he's not a one season wonder. So, I mean, I just think last year, I think we didn't use Pearl right.
Can
I
I can
think,
I can I say something regarding that? Sorry to interrupt you, Aaron. Um, you're talking about Pirro last season. Do you know Pirro still had 14 goals last year?
yeah, exactly. But people are saying that's a poor season. That's not. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of the fan base are saying that, not me personally.
And it
When you
wasn't
look
all
back,
starts either.
yeah, well, if you look back last season, right, take the stats out of it, and you look at his performances, he's not pressing. Do you know what I mean? He's not doing the stuff that we were sort of expecting, and then you see Bamford coming on and doing all this here, and you're thinking, and then you look at the stats, you're like, flip me, it's a bit deceiving, Do you know what I mean? But yeah, going back to your point, like I don't actually know, you know, it'd be a bit of a risk because the amount of money was sort of spent on Pearl last year. I know
Hmm.
we're getting Smodics, but if Smodics doesn't work out and then Pearl starts banging them in for
Which is
Blackburn, it's kind of
Leeds
like,
Leeds' luck, like, isn't it? Let's be honest.
yeah, that would be like, why do we do that? We were mental doing that. You know what I mean? And as I said, I would go with a younger player, to be honest. If I was
I
going to
would
make a
stick with
decision,
Pirro.
I would probably
I
stick with Pearl because he's got age on the side. You're going to get a few more years. His transfer
mhm,
value is not going to, decrease as much.
dwindle.
Once you get into your 30s, I think your value sort of, goes down no matter how well you're doing.
Hmm.
It's people are looking at it going 30. Not only that there, but then he's going to look at contract situations. Teams are only going to be offering him maybe 2 year deals. Do you know what I mean? So he might be harder to get, move on if it doesn't work out. But yeah, that's my opinion. What about you? Would you would you want to
I'm
do the
with you on
swap
this
or?
one. It must be a freak podcast because we're both agreeing on the same things a lot. This is weird. I agree with you. Pirro, definitely, I would take Pirro all day long over Smonix. Now,
Yeah,
I would take both if it was offered. If I woke up tomorrow and Smonix had signed for Leeds, I'd be like, nice,
yeah,
yeah. But I
yeah.
wouldn't. I wouldn't fancy the swap. But I just heard a little bit
I
of
was
a story about the swap, so it could be all pinch of salt. It could be all bull crap. I don't know, but I did
yeah,
hear a little bit of a story about there could be a Piro's Melik swap. But the Ipswich one, I don't know what's going on there. I mean, if he's playing games and he's kept his number 8 shirt and playing stupid cups as you say, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with him. Um, But
Is
saying
there?
that
I
there,
was gonna.
Sinistera played for us right up until the last kick of the game, didn't he? Before he pissed out the door 3 hours before the window closed. So
Yeah, I was gonna say to you as well. Any Premier League players you have your eye on, in terms of coming in, obviously they mightn't, you know, make the squads. Do you see
nah,
any Premier League player that you would take?
no,
No,
no.
I'm gonna
I
throw, I'm gonna
personally
throw,
go ahead.
I'm gonna throw one out there. So,
Go.
Maxwell Cornet for West Ham.
You think we're going to get him?
Well, if he's not in if he's not in the 25, 26, whatever it is, why not? You
What
know,
position? He's at
I
what positions do you play?
I think he's left or left wing or right wing.
And do you think he'll
So
come in and replace
I think he can
Virgil?
play number 10 as well. Well, if we're challenging at the top of the league, I don't see why not. I don't see why we can't go for him if we can't get the Johnny Rowe deal done, even alone.
I personally think that we again. You look at the game. We scored 3 goals. Our XG was 105 billion to one. I don't think our attacking needs any work done. I really don't. I think we'll get a midfielder in and a wing back or a winger, left or right. I personally do not think we're going to get another attacking player. I don't know. Rowe maybe
I
because
think
there's so much talks about it, but again, it's just rumors. There's no concrete anything. I just don't know. I personally think Wober's still going to go. I think I don't know. He's burnt me once. I don't want to be burnt again twice. If I expect him to go and he stays, then oh no, we've got Wober. But if I let myself to enjoy Wober being in a elite shirt again and then he pisses off again, that's going to piss me off. No, and Varga did
I
the right
think
thing and told him it's on him. If he leaves this time, it's on him because he told us he's staying, so he's done the right thing. I
I
think it
think
meant
I
go
don't
ahead.
think I don't think Vober's gonna stay, to be honest. My personal opinion. And the reason behind it is I just think if Strike and Rudon obviously do well and and then obviously if they don't, you've Ampadu to come back in there. And I just think Wober's thinking, I'm an international player. I need to be playing games. This is probably the first time in my career, or maybe second time, or where I've been on the bench for the first match of the season. I'm a starter. He's probably thinking he should he should be starting, and then he's probably on the phone to his Gladbach mates, and they're probably going, "Come back, mate, come back." Do you know what I mean?
But
You'll
can I
start
have
here.
yeah? But let me tell you the story behind that. Vober is 3 weeks behind every other player because he was on
Yeah,
international.
yeah.
Your man
But then he was
Fargate did
playing
come out and
games.
say to him he will have to wait his time because he's 3 weeks behind.
But he was playing matches, so he's deemed as match fit, in
No,
my
he
opinion.
wasn't playing matches. He was playing parts in matches because it was
Well, he started.
pre-season.
Did he start? He started the first game for
Came off at
Austria.
half time.
Yeah, but he was throughout the summer he was playing competitive
No,
football.
oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about the Leeds friendlies. No, because after Australia, he went on a 2 week holiday because he's entitled to 2 weeks
Yeah.
holiday. So when the
Ah,
boys
yes,
came
yes,
back,
yes.
so the boys all came back and done the fitness, done the fatness test, done the bleed test, done everything. There was 2 pre-season games already in the bag before Vober even came back to Leeds.
Yeah.
So he that's the difference. So all these boys had a holiday, came back, got fit. Vober came back after a holiday. Their holiday is just relax and get fat, but not get fat, but you know what I mean. Just chill out.
I just do a class and done and eat, go to McDonald's.
Not very, you shouldn't have left. But yeah, so my point behind Vober is Farkett did turn around and tell everybody like he won't be starting yet because he's not match fit. When he gets match fits and gets used to the tactics, he might. I mean, we don't know, but I'm not defending him
I
because I
would,
do still think
if
he's going to be a rat and leave. I
yeah,
think
but
he's going to
see,
do it.
see if you're a footballer and you're sitting, you're getting closer to the August 31st deadline, and you haven't started a game and you're sitting on the bench and you're on the phone to your buddies, your buddies are saying, "Oh, we're starting our German league, you'll be involved, you'll be a starter, mate. I don't know why you're not a starter there, blah blah blah." You know, I just think he might actually think, flip me, I need to get out of here. I need
Mm.
to I need to jump on a plane and go back to Germany. The only thing is, if it does happen, I just hope we don't get fucked over with transfer fees, because I do think that Roma let us on a merry dance. With Llorente. I never thought they would pay the 18 million. I didn't think they'd do that, but I think 10 million was reasonable. And then they kept pissing about and pissing about and pissing about. And then eventually, we had to let him and Rocker go for, what was it, 5 million combined.
Mhm. That would be a
Two
time job
players for
about.
5 million. That's like car boot sale sort of, mentality there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We're not
That's
a
like
car boot
turn,
sale.
that's like turning around and going, we'll take a player on loan and we'll do an option to buy for 80 billion. You're never going to take that option.
Yeah.
It's pointless, So they can offer what they want.
Well,
But anyway,
yeah.
I do believe a midfielder and a wing back will come into Leeds before the transfer window. That's all I think. Two more players.
I think we need a Somerville replacement. I just
I think
do. I don't
Nanto.
think.
I
I think.
generally believe Nanto is going to be the replacement.
But then if you take Nando out, and he's injured. I know you've got Rudder, you probably got then Arnson can sort of cover Rudder's position, but do you not think we're a wee bit, especially for being an attacking side, do you think that's going to be enough
And
for a
James,
46-game season?
yeah, but see the thing about wingers. The thing about wingers is they're now bled. They're bred to play both wings, so they have a favourite because of their foot. But realistically, Dan James can play both wings. Rudder can play both wings. Nando can play both wings. Arnson can play both wings. I think they're all right. Maybe what I don't know. Listen, I'm not Fargo. I'm not Leeds. I don't know. This is to me, it's a speculation and guessing. I personally think we need a wing back and we need a centre midfielder. Other than that, I think we're good to go if we keep the rest of the players. Selling no more players is a bonus for me. Selling no
Well,
more players is more important than us getting another player. I think.
I think wing back, centre mid, and Somerville replacement. That's what we need. We need them three.
Boom. Drop the mic. So, Aaron, it's an hour into the stream. We want to try and keep it to an hour. Have you anything else then to kind of have a chat about just before we head
Well,
off?
it's just mainly getting on, talking about Saturday's match, talking about the likes of the Carabao Cup tonight, talking about the transfer window, and I think we've more or less
Nailed it in the
covered
head.
everything, haven't we? We don't want to
Aye.
sort of rub it
For
on too
people.
much, and let the listeners
And
decide, but
yeah, and I'm gonna go and enjoy my holiday now. So I'm gonna go out the back beside the pool and have another couple of beers and
40
enjoy. And
degrees
then
and cheap 40 degrees and cheap beer.
it's not even. I know. Flipping hell, 39 cents for a beer, bottle of beer over here. It works out about 20 odd pence, which is fantastic. The
Flipping
Leeds
me,
game's
like
on
the
Slovakian
British,
sports channels over here, so I get to listen to Slovakian commentators shouting for Leeds win 3-1. By the way,
The British and the Irish government are robbing us, aren't they? Like, so they are.
beer wise anyway. Yeah, absolutely.
Save
So
a load of money and get yourself off to Slovakia.
you're back. Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I broke up or you broke up there. One of us kind of hesitated a bit. But anyway, on that one, Aaron, we're going to leave it there. Yes.
Yes, mate, 100%. Great
Folks,
wee chat as
absolute
always.
pleasure. As the new intro says, hit the like, hit the subscribe, build the channel. I mean, I know we're small at the minute, but the only way is up, so we'll get there. Yes. But that's my folks. Have a good, enjoy the game.